What if your good looks were your only job, and your entire lifestyle depended on manipulating rich women? Sounds glamorous, right? Well, Spread 2009 shows exactly how fast that kind of life can fall apart. Let's get into it. The story follows Nikki, a self-absorbed and vain man who is just about to leave a luxurious mansion. As he walks out, he's completely lost in thoughts about how incredibly handsome he believes he is. In his mind, his looks are his biggest asset, and he's not shy about using them. While walking through the streets, Nikki reflects on his past, including the time he was physically involved with his mother's best friend. He also thinks back to when he first arrived in Los Angeles, dreaming of fame, wealth, and endless women. Ironically, most of those dreams have already come true, just not through honest work. That night, Nikki heads to a nightclub, where he meets Samantha, a stunning and wealthy lawyer. At first, Samantha turns him down, but Nikki knows how to play the long game. Eventually, she gives into his charm and invites him back to her lavish home. During their private time together, Nikki deliberately holds back emotionally and physically, knowing that leaving her wanting more will only strengthen his grip on her. The next morning, Samantha wakes up and prepares for work. Nikki pretends to still be asleep, flashing what he calls his roll-over, sleeping smile. It works perfectly. Instead of kicking him out, Samantha leaves him a note and her credit card so he can buy breakfast. While she's gone, Nikki enjoys the luxury of her home and even prepares dinner for her, hoping to gain her trust and secure his stay. When Samantha returns, he treats her like royalty. When she asks about his job, Nikki admits he isn't working and isn't actively looking either. Despite this, Samantha is still drawn to him, and they end up having an intimate moment on the dining table. Over the next few days, Nikki continues pampering Samantha while quietly settling into a comfortable lifestyle funded entirely by her money. She has no idea that he's simply using her. One day, Samantha mentions an upcoming trip to New York. She invites Nikki to come with her, but he declines and agrees to stay behind. After dropping her off at the airport, Nikki wastes no time throwing a massive house party. He invites a crowd over, including his best friend Harry, who shares his womanizing lifestyle. During the party, Nikki spots his wealthy ex-girlfriend Helen, who is drunk and could easily reveal that the house doesn't belong to him. Panicking, he tells Harry to drive her home. Soon after, another woman named Christina asks Nikki for a tour of the house, which quickly turns into a short-lived physical encounter. Once the party ends, Harry returns and stays the night. The next day, Samantha calls Nikki, worried that he didn't answer her calls the previous night. Nikki lies, claiming he didn't hear the phone ring, conveniently leaving out the noisy party. Samantha later tells him she'll be bringing guests over when she returns. The following morning, Nikki invites his friend Emily over. Emily knows exactly what kind of person Nikki is and wants something serious. When he refuses to commit, she stands her ground. Still, they spend intimate time together, and Emily tries to convince him to change, but Nikki refuses. Later, Nikki returns to spending time with Christina, only to be caught in the act when Samantha unexpectedly comes home early. A heated argument follows about the party and Nikki's behavior. Despite everything, Samantha agrees to stay with him, even though Nikki clearly hasn't changed. While Samantha is away again, Nikki goes to a coffee shop and meets Heather, a waitress who immediately shuts down his flirting. When he asks for her number, she hands him the bill instead. Nikki leaves without paying, writing his number on the receipt. Heather tracks him down at the house and demands payment. Nikki tries to charm her, but she takes the money and leaves. Strangely, her attitude completely captivates him. He can't stop thinking about her and slowly starts losing interest in Samantha. Determined to impress Heather, Nikki returns to the coffee shop pretending to be a wealthy businessman, with Harry posing as his assistant. Outside, Heather warns him about a possible parking ticket. Nikki tries to flirt his way out of it by dancing with the parking officer, but it fails, and he still gets the ticket. Heather finds this hilarious and secretly slips her phone number into his pocket. Nikki calls her later that night, but Heather says she's busy and will call back. Samantha witnesses this call and immediately becomes suspicious. The next day, Nikki stores some of his belongings at Harry's place and admits that Heather hasn't called him back. Harry tells him to move on, but Nikki insists he genuinely likes her. After teasing Harry about his pet frogs, Nikki gets kicked out. Later, Heather finally calls Nikki and invites him to dinner. During their date, Heather abruptly leaves after receiving a phone call. Nikki follows her and confronts her, but she drives away without explanation. The next morning, Samantha confronts Nikki about seeing someone else. He denies it. She then asks him to drive her to the hospital and pick her up the next day. After dropping her off, Nikki goes to the coffee shop and learns Heather no longer works there. That night, Nikki is shocked to find Heather swimming in Samantha's pool. She explains that her teenage brother, who has multiple sclerosis, had an emergency the night she left their date. Overcome with emotion, she breaks down, and Nikki comforts her. They share a tender moment, but Heather insists on taking things slow. The next morning, Nikki takes Heather's keys to move her Porsche but realizes the car isn't hers. He assumes she has a boyfriend and angrily throws her belongings at her, telling her to leave. After picking Samantha up from the hospital, Nikki is informed that she needs rest and no intimacy. Over the next few days, Nikki stops answering Samantha's calls, leading her to end the relationship. She warns him that his looks won't last forever and slaps him before throwing his phone into the pool. Now homeless, Nikki turns to Harry and Emily, but both reject him. He ends up at an exotic dance club, where he gets into a fight defending the dancers and is thrown out. Harry calls him a hypocrite and cuts ties with him. With nowhere to go, Nikki ends up at a cheap motel. Even his mother hangs up on him when she learns he still doesn't have a job. Trying to survive, Nikki targets another wealthy woman at a hotel, but runs into Heather again. He finally tells her the truth about his situation. Heather admits she's also been scamming wealthy men. She invites Nikki to stay with her. They grow closer, start dating, and help each other with their schemes. Despite their bond, Heather continues seeing wealthy men, making Nikki jealous. Eventually, Heather reveals she was engaged to a rich man who owns the New York Rangers but left him because she loves Nikki. Hurt by her honesty, Nikki leaves, but soon realizes he truly wants to change. Encouraged by Heather's roommate Eva and helped by Harry, Nikki flies to New York to win Heather back. When he finds her, she reveals she's already married and chooses financial security over love. Heartbroken, Nikki returns to Los Angeles. He finally gets an honest job as a delivery man, runs into Samantha again under different circumstances, and moves back in with Harry, feeding his bullfrog as life slowly resets. And that's Spread 2009, a story about charm, consequences, and what happens when someone who lives off appearances finally has to face reality. If you enjoyed this recap, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to Movie Recaps Hub podcast, and drop a comment letting me know what movie you want next. Thanks for listening, and I'll catch you in the next one.